We're losing the sun quite fast and we need to reach a conclusion today. So look who's turned up late. Okay guys, we've had a coffee. That's the slowest car there. And that's the second slowest car gone. Now the sedan segment in India has seen a big change because almost every option that you can buy has seen an update. The latest amongst which is of course the Hyundai Verna, which is what I have here. Now, when I drove it first during our first drive review, a lot of you guys asked us to pit it against certain cars that directly compete with it. Well, you asked for it and that is what we have for you today. I have two of my friends who have selected two cars that they think is the best without, of course, driving all three of them back to back. And today, we're going to find out why they have chosen the wrong car for this comparison.
Wait, did you just call this the wrong sedan? Do you not fear the internet? This is currently people's favorite sedan in this segment.
I mean, clearly, internet's favorite.
Excuse me, you guys are talking about favorites and you haven't mentioned the Honda City. I think I might be the youngest here, but the most mature because I've brought the best sedan with me that's been in India for 25 years now.
So you brought an old car basically.
Youngest, but he's entering the uncle age first,
Yes,
right? Because this is car for oldies. I'm sorry, it's a good car, but no.
It's for old people.
And what have you bought, Shivank? The Virtus, I see?
Best looking car, sportiest.
Oh yeah, it
The
looks
best
like
looking-
looks
most
like a Polo.
powerful,
I
not
think
most
I just,
powerful,
It's a
but
nice Polo you got there.
fastest.
I
in the
jacked
real
up one
world.
at that,
Yeah,
with that
inflated
170
Polo.
mm of
Looks
ground
nice.
clearance. And
I
This
think
looks like a toy. I'm sorry.
yeah, I
I mean-
think this looks like it was found at the bottom of a cereal box, but yeah, I agree.
Really?
Looks like a toy with
Sadly
a
agree with Shivank over
Cisca
there.
LED headlamp or whatever that is
Okay.
to impress kids your age.
firstly, ouch. Second, I think between immature teenagers and uncles over there,
Immature.
we
You
have the
call the-
best balance.
Sorry, I have to interrupt. This car, of all these three cars, this will age probably the best.
It's already aged. It looks like the Polo.
No,
it looks
that's
like
what
it was here
is,
10
German
years ago.
engineering. It is so much. That's the mature. This is the term for that.
Not
car.
really.
Okay, listen to me. 10 years from now, this will still look as good. It'll still look like a toy that it is. And the city
See, this
will
is
still be boring.
clearly the futuristic design is here. So 10 years from now, this will look normal. This will look old. That already looks old.
One second. You guys are talking about the 10 years. 10 years from now, this won't exist, this will still be the same.
Okay. In my defense of the Verna's design, so we had decided that we will not do what I'm about to do now, which is open the door of the car and talk about the interiors. Because you just spent twice the amount of money for the Polo. How does
Well,
that
no,
feel?
this is that signature Volkswagen dish. It's the sportiest.
If everything is signature from 10 years ago,
I think it's signature because it's not changed for so
Yes.
many years now that
It's the
you.
best car. I'm telling you, it feels the sportiest. You sit in a very sporty position, and it is the most sedan of the lot. It is-
I bet you $100 right now on record that you will say German engineering at least 5 times in this video.
It is German engineering.
That's one.
One.
Well, because
I'm going to be rich.
best build quality, global NCAP 5-star rating, blah blah blah. But then this is the most sturdy car of the lot, of course. So I'm using the word most every time in
Yes.
front of everything because it offers the most bang for your buck as well.
Not really.
We'll
Moving
find
on,
that
we'll
out.
ignore the Polo.
I mean, now you've brought the interior bit
Yes.
out.
This is just
Let's
920,
just
man.
talk about
Let's get
how
into
the
this stuff.
Verna just copied the Virtus to try and look sporty
I mean,
and failed.
Look at the steering wheel. It doesn't even
It's
have
a two-
Yeah,
so
where's this one spoke is
cost-cutting,
missing?
bro.
this is not cost cutting. This is design dual tone, guys. Come
Yeah.
on. What are you talking about?
I mean, this is designed
That
when you
touchscreen
forget
is
to
a
put in the
rip-off
third
of-
spoke.
Have you seen the all black interior with the red inserts? At the end of the day, I think this is the most
I
futuristic.
think, Manav, we need to shut the door on the Verna's design,
You
the
did.
interior, because they've tried to copy Volkswagen engineers, the Virtus, and failed miserably at that. I think if you're talking about a good interior, let's talk about the Honda City over here.
Says
You're
the guy.
getting
with
two
beige
colors
interior.
for your money. You've got beige and
interior,
black.
Okay, Shivank.
And let's
Shivank.
not
That's where the argument is settled. Beige.
Beige, like you're saving grace.
And
Is
that
it-
touchscreen is from 1990s or
The car is from
Okay,
the
that
1990s.
maybe I'll give you. But
It's living up to the vibe.
I'm promising you that with the best interior, I think the City will also be the best car to drive.
best interior. He said.
With the best interior, it will be the best car. Spoken like
Are
a
you still
true
sleeping?
old guy. I think we have a lot to talk about, clearly. We've already spent a lot of time doing this where we thought we'll make it crisp. So I think obviously, if you haven't noticed, this is gonna go somewhere, which is that we'll have to find a way to establish which is the better car and why that is the Verna. So what we'll do?
Virtus. Sorry.
Yeah, the reply will come after 20 years. So, so what we'll do is we are going to go for a coffee. Okay, I know a place. Let's just go in our cars without each of us interrupting each other. Let's tell the viewers why we have chosen these. Of course, we've not driven them back to back, but why was our gut, our intuition thinking these are the best? Once we reach there, let's see where it goes. Maybe we exchange cars, exchange notes, or come to the conclusion that the Verna is the best.
Cool, I'll be waiting for you guys there because I have the fastest car, of course.
Yeah.
I'll reach there
Will you be
first.
refueling on the way?
No, I've got
Yeah, he'll
cylinder
probably need
deactivation
to
for
because
that.
what? Nine is what you get.
No,
in
he
that
has. He's driving a 2-cylinder.
car? Yeah, he'll reach there. The
Nice
quickest.
polo you
German
got.
engineering.
All right. So off we go. I'm going to ping them through this walkie-talkie. Now, this is a very complicated system that we've put in place. Requires much more skill and talent than what we have, but let's hope it all works out. So I'm going to give it a go. Okay, guys, gentlemen, now that we are on the road,
I'm going to ask all of you to briefly share why you chose these cars before driving all these three back to back. Why did you choose the keys
to the cars that you're in right now. Shivank, let's go with you.
Well, yes, of course, I'll answer that. Well, first things first, why do you want a sedan in your life? The answer is plain and simple. You want a car that's good to drive. Sedans are primarily meant to be driven by yourself. If you want comfort and practicality, well, you'll look elsewhere. You'll look at an SUV. So, with that in mind, I think the Virtus does everything because this has got the performance. It has got this 1.5 litre TSI engine. It has got a great DSG gearbox, the quickest on the planet. And then you've also got this typical German engineering. Again, I'm sounding like a nerd, but that's the case with this car. The ride and handling balance is phenomenal. All those cars, the City and the Verna, can't match it in this regard. Similarly, in terms of space, in terms of practicality also, I think the Virtus is up there. It is one of the most practical cars in the segment, including the Slavia also, which is a similar car. So it's a coin toss between these two cars, but I think again the Virtus has more personality in the sense it feels more sporty. So for me, I think this car does everything with a single-minded focus on performance and drive and handling, and I think that's what a sedan is meant to do. So for me, of course, if I'm going to buy a sedan, it has got to be the Virtus. It has got the technology, it has got the drive, and it has got a personality.
Alright, Shivank and Manav, I'll tell you why I chose the Honda City. Okay, my reason behind picking the Honda City is very, very simple. And it's the longest running nameplate among these three cars. I mean, the Virtus is a very new one. The Verna, it's decently old, but obviously not as old as the Honda City. It's around 25 years now. And the fact that it still has an inline-4 naturally aspirated petrol engine that likes to rev its guts out. In a day and age when every modern car maker is turning to turbo petrols, as you can see from the car behind me, the Verna and the Virtus, both of them use turbocharging to extract all that power. And yes, the City might be down on power and everything, but how much power are you actually going to use in the real world? In the real world, the fun is when you can rev a naturally aspirated engine to the red line without really sacrificing on your fuel efficiency. And Honda's kept the mantra the same all throughout the years. I mean, I'll honestly tell you, I actually own a first generation Type 2 Honda City, which is still in running condition today. And every time I get behind the wheel of that car, it just speaks to me on a whole different level than what the Virtus or Verna can even hope to achieve one day from now. Also, the looks. Every time you look at the City, it just feels classy. It just feels like, hey, could see myself driving this car today and 5 years down the line. And I think it's that simplicity about the Honda City which just speaks to me, and that's the reason I have gone after the City.
Well, the reason why I chose the Hyundai Verna today is actually quite simple. I see cars as an extension of one's personality, and where I am in my age or maturity or whatever, it's very simple. I'm going to put it very simply. I don't think I am as energetic as I require to be to relate to the Virtus, and I don't think I'm that old yet, to be very honest, to get my hands on the City. I think this is the best of both worlds, and sometimes I just want ease and comfort, and I think the Verna delivers on that. And I also want to have performance on my side, and with this new generation, Hyundai has kicked it out of the park. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hyundai Verna is the most powerful car of this segment. So I think it's a win-win. So it's really no secret why I wouldn't choose the Hyundai Verna. Okay guys, since I was sharing my reasons of why I selected the Verna, I realize it's quite hot today. So I just wanted to ask, I think Shivank, you first, how are the cool seats?
Well, they're quite nice. I think maybe Dhruv can answer it.
How are your cool seats?
Yeah, Manav, I see you're trying to straight go for the kill shot over here, and yes, I do not have cool seats. And while you'll be laughing
Muggy about that, both of you in your cabin, let me tell you this. My cabin is not black, so it doesn't
heat up that bad like yours. Mine is beige. It reflects a lot of that heat back. So you know what? Japanese engineering, smart thinking, and just using a simple, effective method to keep things cool. Yeah, I don't think both of your cars are doing that.
Or it's just plain cost cutting.
Okay, yes, cost cutting. Also, I have heated seats. Shivank, how are your heated seats?
Well, nobody needs heated seats in the Virtus because its performance keeps you warm all the time. I mean, not in summers, but of course in winters it'll keep you warm.
Sure. How are your beige seats? Do they have heating?
Well, obviously, if I don't have cool seats, I'm not gonna have heated seats. And like Shivank, yeah, I don't need the performance to keep me warm. I think the experience of driving a naturally aspirated petrol engine is enough to warm up my heart. And you know what? Make both of you feel jealous about the fact that I can rev this car to the red line, its guts out without even worrying about it. So you know what? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take that small victory right now.
Okay guys, honestly, time for a confession. So telling you and the viewers at the same time. So what we were supposed to do today was bring automatic transmission cars, and while these guys were busy bashing my car's interiors and colors and whatnot, I actually cheated a bit and I have brought the manual transmission Hyundai Verna.
Obviously, I actually did notice, but I wanted to get my turn behind the wheel of that Verna with that manual gearbox to see if it can even match up to my City. While the City I'm driving today is an automatic, I have driven the manual and it's acres of fun. I mean, I cannot even tell you the number of times I've had a bad day. I've sat in the City, just gone out, driven it for 5 minutes, revved it to the red line, come back home with a smile on my face, and I've forgotten everything bad that happened that day. I don't think your cars can do that.
Okay, first of all, don't call it an automatic. It's a CVT and it's the Uncle G of automatic gearboxes, right? It's slow, it's whiny. So it's no match for a manual first, and it's no match to the DSG for sure.
Shivank, okay, yeah, I'll tell you this. You might be thinking it's an Uncle G gearbox, but the first time Formula 1 used
automatic transmission, it was
a CVT, and they had to ban it because it was so fast that it was leaving everyone in its dust.
How cute, both of you, trying to justify going all the way to F1 and whatnot. Okay, let's make it simple for the viewers. Let's do a quick numbers check. Horsepower, let's start with that.
Mr. Fast Guy with the F1 tech, how much do you have?
I can see that you just want to show that you have the biggest number to all your viewers. Yes, I am down on power. I think I have around 119 brake horsepower. And my torque is at 145, and I'm not gonna go and compete with you guys out there. But hey, yeah, you tell me, Shivank, what's your number?
Well, I've got a 1.5 TSI engine. It develops 148 bhp and 250 Newton meters of torque. Yes, it's down on par compared to the Verna, but then this is a better car overall. You know, it can, I mean, power is nothing without control, and I think this car is all about control. So this is much better than the Verna. Manav will say otherwise, but we all know what's the truth.
Okay guys, not to rub it in, very simply I'm just going to boast 160 PS of power and 253 Newton meters of torque, if I remember that correctly. In any which way, it's more powerful than the Virtus, and I just realized the City with 119 bhp is 4 horsepower more than the slower version of the Verna, the slower one. Just saying.
Yeah, Manav, I know you like your big numbers, like your engine powers and your waistline. So, yeah, let's not go there.
Can it cool your seats though?
I think no.
Okay, so let's talk about practicality a bit. So, Manav, what's the boot space on your car?
I would like to start by saying it's the largest in the segment. I don't remember exactly how much, but I know it's the biggest one, and that's all that matters.
So, I have a small test for you, and since you were so quick to brag that your boot is the biggest, why don't we, when we come to a stop at our first stop, put you inside all of the boots, close the lid, and see how comfortable you are. We'll let you be the judge of it.
Okay, I judge that's not going to happen.
Slightly smaller than the Verna, but I think it has the widest opening, and Manav being the widest guy of us all, he'll fit there comfortably.
Okay, being the guy with the biggest boot, the most amount of horsepower and torque, and the fastest car, I judge that this is not going to happen. I veto it.
Well, yes, you win the game of top trumps, but in the real world, it's the Virtus that does everything better.
Oh, does your Virtus have ADAS?
Well, no, it keeps me awake with its driving experience. It's not as sleepy or, as boring as your car. So I'm awake all the time. I'm always alert.
Yeah, I know you have an answer for everything, but obviously the Verna and the City have such a big advantage over your Virtus. And I think the City is cheaper than your Virtus also, and I think compared to the Verna also for that matter, it's the cheaper car. And yet it has an ADAS system. And do not mind me if I tell you that you are the one who's tested these ADAS systems, and you know that the Honda system is the best. So I know, like, inside you might not want to agree to this, but you know that the Honda's ADAS is a big plus.
Okay guys, last but not the least, the touchscreen infotainment system. As per my observation and expert analysis, I think I have an infotainment system from the year 2023. What about you, Shivank?
Well, I think I have a more modern and more advanced touchscreen infotainment for sure. This comes from Volkswagen Group, and it feels every bit as expensive. It's so crisp, and I think it's the best, honestly. I know Verna has a great system, but this is so seamless, so intuitive to use. I mean, I'm not bullshitting. I think this is the best.
Okay, Dhruv, what year is your infotainment system from?
Okay, the City system. Tell me one thing, guys. Your touch screens, which side are they facing?
Towards the driver?
What about you, Shivank?
They're facing towards the future. What about yours?
Okay, I'll give you that one. But let me tell you this.
When I'm driving at night and the screen is on brightness, it just hits me in the eyes, distracts me all the time. And both of your touch screens are tilted towards you. So it's going to be even a bigger distraction, because every 2 minutes you'll want to just see on your screen, oh, let me change the music. Oh, let me just see what the maps, where am I? But in the City, that's not there. I mean, the screen, it technically is kind of, it's not, I'm not able to properly look at it some of the times, but I think that's a good thing. I mean, the Japanese engineers have kept in mind that when you're sitting in the City, the only thing you'll want to do is drive and not really pay attention to that touch screen.
So Dhruv just said that the screen is so good that he can't see it half of the time. Great Japanese engineering there, and he also said that it's so good that it makes you just want to drive. Says the guy with 18 horsepower. The slowest car has the wrongly oriented screen, and look who's so happy. Well, okay, I think we've had enough of this back and forth, guys. So, what we're gonna do is reach that coffee place now, have a nice coffee, and let's keep it simple. The last one there buys the coffee for everyone else. So, as you can see, that's the slowest car there, and that's the second slowest car gone. I'll see you guys at the coffee stop.
Yeah, after listening to Shivank all this long, I do need that coffee, man.
So look who's turned up late. The guy with the sportiest car has the toughest time finding the location.
I think it's just that difficult driving the Virtus that you can get lost on a straight road.
How fast? Look, that's the fastest guy.
I think it's so
The
difficult
German-
driving the Virtus that you can just get lost on a straight road.
German engineering at its best with the bad driver. Now let's get inside.
Getting complimented by Indian craftsmanship.
Okay guys, we've had our coffee. It's time to head out for the next destination where we'll grab ourselves a snack. Are we swapping cars?
Yes, I want to check what the fuss is about.
I want to try the Virtus.
Nobody wants to sit.
Okay, you know what? I'll take the City.
Fine, I'll see what Shivank was raving about in the Virtus.
So, let's go. Now, I'll be honest, the moment I sat in the Honda City, I actually liked the car quite a lot. Yes, the design is not very funky, to be honest, as compared to other cars, but I like that. I think it's my old soul talking. I like how classy everything is, the symmetrical layout of the dash, the interiors is great, and I think the ride quality is very comfortable as well. And I think it is comfort where the Honda City stands a class apart. In terms of performance, it might not be at a level of the other two cars, but I think in terms of comfort, it more than makes up for it. However, in the spirit of the story, I'm not going to appreciate the car, of course, right? Dhruv,
Now that you're out of the city and in the Virtus,
how does 2023 feel like?
Nice joke, Manav, but you know what? I think, I'm not really liking it here, but I'll tell everyone and the viewers what it's all about. Okay, so don't tell Manav, but I'm actually kind of liking this car. For starters, the interior, and especially during this evening time when the ambient lighting is starting to come through, the interior is really shining. It feels premium. Second of all, yes, the power obviously of the Virtus is amazing. The DSG, not so much. I mean, I actually think that the CVT's response is more instantaneous, and yes, out on the highways, the Virtus is shining because it's got so much of torque. But in the city, I think my city will still lead. Although there is one more thing, and that's the fuel efficiency number. To be able to extract anything out of this car, I'm having to drive like I've got a gun to my head that I cannot exceed regular speeds. Something I could do very easily in the city and get away with it while maintaining the same fuel efficiency that you generally get. So I think on that front, the Virtus has tried to impress me, but it's not been able to go all the way.
Now at this point, we tried reaching out to Shivank to get his views on the Verna. However, he was out of the walkie-talkies range because, well, he was busy testing. Wait, I'm not getting anything from Shivank.
Okay, so I'm driving the Verna now. First things first, this engine is a cracker. And you know what? Even the gearbox is quite nice. It's not your typical Hyundai gearbox. So I have to say this is a fun car to drive. Well, this is actually fast. And you can make out those 10 extra horsepower that this car has. You can definitely feel those.
Eventually, we gave up and decided to meet at the grouping point. Alright guys, so clearly we are still not on an agreement yet, but here's what has happened everyone. Because of our bickering and spending time getting those pretty shots that you're looking at, we are losing the sun quite fast and we need to reach a conclusion today. So the snack is out of the box. We're not going to have snacks, sadly. Please leave a like for our hungry stomachs. But now we have to go to the final destination. We still have a chance to swap. Do you want to swap or not?
I don't want to drive the city.
Yeah, I'd also want to try out the Verna because you've been raving so much about it.
Very conveniently, we have all reached a very convenient agreement. So we're going to just sit in one of these cars and we'll go to the end location where we're going to exchange note and come to the conclusion as to why the Verna is the best, as I've always said.
Virtus is the best.
The reply will come 20 years later, once again. Alright, we go fast.
The Verna, it's just so effortless, and the icing on that cake, which already has an icing, is that in the Virtus, I was struggling to maintain a decent fuel efficiency, which is quite important to be honest. But in the Verna, it's not a problem. I mean, I do not have to drive like I've got a gun to my head, and I do not have to make sure that I'm, sticking to feather light inputs just to be able to squeeze the maximum efficiency, despite that car having like a 2-cylinder setup that when it's not under load. I think the Verna really has the potential to impress everyone.
Okay, the Honda City then. Well, of course, I have to say this engine, it can't hold a candle to the likes of the Verna and the Virtus. But where the City absolutely nails it is in terms of comfort, and it is an overall better car. But if I have to recommend this car to someone who I know, someone who's a relative who wants a do-it-all sedan, well, this is the car to go for, the Honda City. And that's what shows and reflects in the monthly sales of these cars as well, because the City is still the best seller. And there's a reason for that, because it does resonate with a lot of people. And that is why the Honda City has been the segment leader for over 2 decades.
Well, now that I'm in the Virtus, finally, I'll be honest, the quality in here feels good, although the dash is rattling a little bit. But the moment you go and hit the road, you realize that drive quality, I think the Virtus sits on the top. I honestly don't know what the other two have said about this car with their time in the car, but I believe it has to be something similar because the car just drives so well. It's a little bit on the stiffer side, but I think in terms of pure handling, the Virtus really scores high. However, all of this comes at a cost of comfort, which the City excels at, and the performance is now not the best in the segment. So I'm not sure how I feel about the Virtus, but I still think it's a good looking car, well engineered, and has a lot of performance and value for money on offer. However, after the entire day, as you can clearly see, we've come to night time. We planned something else, but that's just how long it takes for us to bring you this quality content to your screens. So the sun might have gone down on us, but we're not giving up. We will give you a proper winner this time, and it will not be a cop-out. So how we are going to do this, I'm going to explain by bringing the other two fellows on the fancy walkie-talkie. So let's do that.
Alright guys, it's time to bring it in and declare the winner. How we're going to do this is very simple. we're going to rank all our winners. There's no copying out.
You can't say this is better for this, this is better for that. Plain simple ranking of the cars. The first position scores 3 points. The second position scores 2 points. And the car that comes on rank 3 scores 1 point. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Dhruv Paliwal first because he's at the front in our convoy.
What is his selection? Then it's going to be Shivank and then
Going to be me. On your screen, you're going to see the scoring that we are giving based on our selection, and that will determine the winner. We also don't know who we are going to pick the winner, so I think let's get this started. Dhruv Paliwal, take it away. What are your top 3?
It's been a long day, Manav, and though I started with the City, I have to say this, that after driving the Verna, I've had a change of heart, and I think the Verna is truly come a long ways now. The number 1 for me. The City has not lost it. It's come in second for me, and the Virtus sadly is third. Even though it's got a lot of quality, but I think it's just making me choose a lot, and for that reason, I am going to go put it third. So it's the Verna first, the City second, and the Virtus third.
Alright, Shivank, first set of results are in. You're next.
Well, I have to say, after driving the Verna, I was also in two minds because I think it's a great car. But overall, I'd still say that I'd stick with the Volkswagen because the Verna, well, it's like 95% there, but that last 5% finish of the Volkswagen is not there, especially in terms of driving pleasure. So for me, it's the Volkswagen on top, the Verna a close second, and the City third. It's a great car, but still, in this comparison, I think the City sort of lags behind in all departments.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Turns out one of us has been converted. The City lover has chosen the Verna. The Virtus lover has stuck with the Virtus. And now it all comes down to the third set of results. I'll keep it short. The first spot, as I said in the start of the video, has to go to the Verna. I think it strikes the best balance between comfort and performance. I'll share my second spot now, which has to go to the Honda City. And the reason for that is because the third spot is the Virtus, and the entire reasoning is that the Virtus used to be the most performance-oriented car. That spot has been taken up by the Verna, so it takes the top spot for me. And the most comfortable car for rear seat experience and all has to be the City, so it takes the second spot. And subsequently, the Virtus comes to the third spot, even though it's a great car. So as you can see on your screen, that is the scoring.
and everyone, if my math is right,
The Verna has won this comparison. Second spot actually has been a tie between the City and the Virtus.
we could not have made this up, guys. We're all in separate cars. This we need to discuss, obviously. All of this has been done on a quick notice because of the light situation.
But there you have it. Those are our actual winners. The Verna is the
The
winner.
winner of this comparison.
Let us know what else would you like to see. How did you find this video? Anything you have to say? Perhaps some love, because we will be hanging down in the comments, all three of us, and replying to you whenever possible. So let us know how you find it. If it's something nice, it really makes our day. Thank you very much for watching. Share this video with your friends, like and subscribe to autoX, and click that bell icon for notifications. Thank you everyone. Peace out. And that's a wrap, guys. That's a wrap.
Virtus is still the best. Yes.
GoPro off.